Source material is this narrative piece called The Black Aeroplane in the Storm.
And it's basically a pilot's own story. Puts you right there in the cockpit with him. Starts off routine, but then things get strange. Really strange.
It spirals into something pretty much inexplicable.
Exactly. So our plan for this deep dive is, walk through his flight, see it through his eyes, and really focus on this huge unanswered question it leaves hanging in the air.
Okay, so it kicks off pretty smoothly. The pilot, he's flying his old Dakota plane.
Right, an old workhorse.
Yeah, and he's over France, nighttime, heading back to England.
And the description of the start is just lovely. Clear night sky, moon rising behind him, stars are out.
Absolutely zero sign of any trouble. Peaceful, almost.
And the pilot's mood reflects that too, doesn't it? He seems happy, enjoying being alone up there.
Totally. Looking forward to his holiday, seeing family. And he's actually dreaming about getting a big English breakfast when he lands. You get a real sense of anticipation.
Gives the time, too, about 1:30 in the morning.
So he's cruising along. Makes the standard radio call to Paris Control.
Dakota DS-088 identifies himself.
Yeah, Paris Control answers right away, loud and clear. Tells them they hear him, they can see him, instruct him to turn 12 degrees west.
Standard procedure. He adjusts course, checks his map, his compass, switches to his last fuel tank. Everything's normal.
Still thinking about that breakfast, feeling pretty confident. The text even says it was an easy flight.
Famous last words, almost.
Yeah.
Because things change, and quickly. He mentions being about 150 kilometers past Paris.
And that's when he sees them.
Yeah.
These huge, dark storm clouds.
And the way he describes them like black mountains, just standing there, blocking his path.
Yeah, it's a really stark image. Suddenly, this easy flight isn't so easy anymore.
He's got an immediate problem. He knows the plane can't climb over clouds that high.
Right. And he looks at his fuel. Definitely not enough to fly around them, north or south. It's just too far.
So what does he do? The sensible thing would be, well, turn back to Paris, wouldn't it?
That's the logical move. But he really wants to get home, that pull, the holiday, the breakfast.
It's strong, so he thinks about Paris, but then decides against it.
He decides to, as the text puts it, take the risk. He points the Dakota straight into the storm, into those black mountains.
A massive gamble, and inside the storm.
Instantly pitch black. He says he couldn't see a single thing outside the cockpit window. Nothing.
And the plane itself.
It's getting thrown around, jumping and twisting violently in the turbulent air. Must have been terrifying.
Yeah, you really feel that sense of losing control, and then it gets worse. His instruments start to fail.
First, the compass. He looks down, and it's just spinning, going round and round, completely useless, dead.
His main way of knowing his direction, gone.
And not just the compass. His other instruments, too, they just suddenly die on him.
So he's blind, he's lost his navigation. What's left? The radio.
His last hope. He grabs the mic, tries calling Paris Control again. Paris Control! Paris Control! Can you hear me? Nothing. Silence. The radio's dead, too.
So that's it. No radio, no compass, can't see anything outside, just lost inside this massive, violent storm.
It's an incredibly dangerous, isolated spot to be in.
Yeah.
And right then, when things seem absolutely desperate.
This is the core of it, isn't it?
Yeah. He sees something in the black clouds, surprisingly close to him. Another aeroplane. Just appears. And what's really odd is this other plane, it has no lights on its wings.
Yeah.
Which is, not normal, especially in a storm at night.
Strange, but he must have been relieved.
Immensely. Seeing another person, another plane in that situation, incredible relief. He says he could actually see the other pilot's face turned towards him.
A connection right when he felt totally alone.
Exactly. And then the other pilot does something. He lifts one hand and waves.
And signals.
Signals, follow me.
Simple as that.
Simple as that. And our pilot, he just understands. He thinks, okay, this guy knows I'm lost. He's trying to help me.
Despite the weirdness, the no lights, he trusts him.
He has to, right. So the black airplane turns slowly to the north, positioning itself right in front of the Dakota, making it easier to follow.
And he follows. The text uses that phrase, he followed like an obedient child.
Yeah, that really shows you his state of mind, total desperation, total trust in this mysterious guide.
So they fly like this for a while.
For about half an hour, remarkably. Through the storm, the strange black airplane is still there, leading the way.
But the practical problem hasn't gone away. The fuel.
Nope. He glances at the gauge again. That last tank. It's running really low now. Only enough fuel left for maybe another 5, perhaps 10 minutes of flight.
So the fear starts creeping back in.
Absolutely. That relief he felt starts to fade as the fuel situation gets critical again. He's starting to feel frightened once more.
But just as that happens...
The black airplane starts to go down.
Yeah.
It begins descending.
And he follows.
He follows, still trusting, down through the storm.
And then
Suddenly, they break through the clouds. He's out of the storm, and right there in front of him, 2 long, straight lines of lights.
a runway.
An airport. He's made it. He's safe.
What a moment that must have been.
Incredible relief. He lands the Dakota, taxis off the runway near the control tower. He says he wasn't sorry to walk away from the old plane, just glad to be on the ground.
And his first thought is...
to find the guy who helped him. He turns around immediately, looking for his friend in the black airplane. But the sky's empty. Completely clear now, but empty. There's nothing there. The black airplane is just gone, vanished. Couldn't see it anywhere.
Okay, so now the mystery deepens.
Big time. He walks straight into the control center. He needs answers. Finds a woman working there.
And he asks her, where am I? And crucially, who was that other pilot? I want to thank him.
And her reaction is key here. The story says she looked at him very strangely, like he was asking something impossible.
And she laughed.
Yeah. And she says, another airplane up there in this storm.
What?
She sounds totally incredulous.
And she gives him the official word from the tower.
She does. She tells him flat out, no other airplanes were flying tonight. Yours was the only one I could see on the radar.
Wow. So according to the radar, according to the control tower, he was completely alone up there.
That's right. Which leaves you with this massive, unshakable contradiction. His very real, very vivid experience of being guided to safety.
Versus the official record, the technology saying it couldn't have happened. No one else was there.
Exactly. And the story just ends there, leaving you hanging with that impossible question.
Who did help him? Who was piloting that strange black airplane, the one with no lights, flying perfectly through a storm when radar showed nothing? How did he land safely with no instruments, hardly any fuel, and apparently no help?
It really highlights that gap that can exist between, a profound personal experience and the external verifiable facts. How do you square that circle? His memory is so clear, yet the data says it's impossible.
It doesn't offer any easy answers, that's for sure. But it forces you, the listener, to think, doesn't it? What does it say about extreme situations? About how we perceive things under immense pressure?
Or even, about help appearing in ways we just can't explain through normal means. That feeling of getting assistance right when everything seems lost.
Yeah. It's one of those stories that really sticks with you, making you ponder the edges of what we know long after the storm clouds have cleared in the narrative. A real head-scratcher.